But what was it like coming over for the first time?
Terrible, terrible. I came over on a Friday night. I was standing on the back of the boat, watching Dublin fade away. You know, felt very lonely. Yeah. I was getting a bit homesick already, you know, because I was the first in my family to leave home, sort of thing. And all the family were at home. But circumstances demanded that you went and you had to go. You had to work, otherwise you didn't survive. There wasn't much work in Ireland at the time. Very little work, in fact.
Mistake at the back of the field by Limerick Lacer, jumping is really letting her down as they race on now towards the final fence on this section of the course before they rejoin the race course proper. Glenn Gooley was the leader, so Foxy Jackson took it in second position. A very bad mistake there by Eclat de Ria towards the inside in the last third of the field. So over the Anchor Bridge crossing they go, and it's Glenn Gooley who's keen but has the lead. Over Foxy Jackson is racing in second position. Towards the outside, Pinella Crooner is in third. Eldorado Allen, the first of race, in fourth position. He's then being followed by Farouk Delaine. After Farouk Delaine is Galia de Lecto. Then Lakeside Pass races towards the outside. Shuffle back with Nestaman and Manila Indo for company. And then Kitty's Light, who is creeping a little bit closer. And now they link up with the main course and back to the grandstand.
You are my son.
Is that yours,
You are my
Dad?
son, yeah. Here you go.
Mine.
What about your father, though?
He was a really good guy. As far as I was concerned, you know, I was very close to his father. He died very young. He died at 48. He's destroyed the whole family, sort of thing, you know, because it's completely unexpected. The family was only just getting on its feet after the war, you know. We were all just starting to find jobs and bring some money into the house, and we were getting established, getting on your feet, you know. Then he died. He was the main breadwinner. That was one of the main reasons I had to come to England, because there was no support, you know, so that was it. Horrible place. Horrible place. Well, there was 5 of us living there. 2 Cork men, an Englishman, myself, and my mate, Niall O'Neill. We all lived in the house, and down in Dagenham, a place called Five Elms. I was sleeping on the floor. The old girl, she used to live on her nerves, sort of thing. She ran a book on everybody that she knew. And I think she had a book on every one of us as well. And when I say she had a book, you used to have what you called a tallyman. And he'd come round to the house every week, selling you stuff. Anything you wanted, he'd get it for you. She was buying stuff for us, and she would get the stuff. And as soon as he was going round the corner, she'd take the stuff down to the pawn shop and pawn it and get the money. Because the money that we were paying her, I don't know what she done with it, she squandered the money somehow. But that's what she used to do. She used to buy the clothes and pawn them, and then pay him the next week when he came round to give him a pittance off the bill, sort of thing, like, you know. But I only stayed there. I stayed there for about a year. Then I moved out. Where was the first house I got?
Yeah, was it in Rush Green?
In Leonard Avenue, yeah, in Rush Green.
And how long did you live there for?
Oh, well, your nan died out of that house, didn't she? We were there for a long time. Must have been 50 odd years. Something like that. I had a flat in the house next door, and this old lady was going to sell her house. I applied for a mortgage and got it. That's how we got that house. I couldn't get the mortgage because the house was £2,700, and the only mortgage I could get was £2,400. And I said to the woman, if you sell me the house for that, I'll pay you the £300. Her daughters weren't too keen because they didn't think I'd pay. The old girl, she agreed. I bought the house, and I got her the £300. When I took her down to her house, she only lived 2 avenues round, from where I lived. And I knocked on the door one Friday night, gave the daughter the money. She was sort of dumbfounded, you know, that I had turned up with the money. So that was how we bought that house.
Do you think it might have been a bit of prejudice or not?
No, I don't think there was a prejudice about it. It was just that in those days, it was very difficult to save money. You spent every penny you got. The woman just didn't think it would be feasible. I'm not saying she didn't trust me, but it's very hard to pay a mortgage and save £300 at the same time. But I managed to do it. I worked at Forge for about 10 or 12 years, you know, after that. And I went and retrained under a government training scheme in a training centre out in Enfield for engineering. I passed the test of that. Got a job done as a mechanical maintenance fitter. There was Irish people living everywhere, all around that area, because they all come over from Cork to work in Forge. And Dagenham was it was like an Irish settlement sort of thing, like, you know, everywhere in Dagenham was Irish people everywhere. There was Irish clubs everywhere. All the pubs were full of Irish. Everywhere you went was Irish, you know. It was a very good community, because if you were Irish, you just stuck with the Irish, you know. You didn't have to mix with anybody else, because you had all your friends, and you know, you worked with them, you lived with them, you socialised with them, you know, you did everything with them. Well, yeah, you won't find them these days. You'll find second generation Irish people, all right, but they have become acclimatised to the English way of life, sort of thing, like, you know. Just one of those things that happens, you know. The Irish people all died out, the children take over, and you lose your identity as being Irish, sort of thing. Most of the second generation Irish remain so. They don't give up being Irish, you know. They're still Irish. They still go across, see their parents. If their parents are still Irish, you know, they still do that. It's just that we cut the wrong end of the fence. If you put the square edge against the square wall, it would have. Oh yeah. Last year, kept changing his high-vis jacket.
Did he? What was that about? What do you mean? Was he a high?
Oh, he had about 20 high-vis jackets on him. He kept changing them.
What for?
That was his stupid Britain's Got Talent.
It's not as good as Ireland's Got Talent.
That's right. I never had any problem. You generally mixed with your own kind, with the Irish people, like, you know, on hard work. They were all Irish. Maybe the supervisor might be English. Most of the general staff would be Irish.
And with Irish people, the Iona Club was an Irish club.
The churches were all full of Irish people, you know, and that's how the club started, to provide entertainment for them. Some of them were affiliated to the church, some of them weren't. And the Iona Club was never affiliated to the church.
Was there ever a point where you would have moved back to Ireland?
No. But I stayed here for security. The only time I would have considered it was when I retired. During my working life, I enjoyed my work, you know, so any job I ever done, I always succeeded at it, you know. And so I was always happy, I always got in control of it. My earlier life was spent in Dublin. A very, very happy time. Never had any problems. The only problem with living in Dublin at that time was survival, because everybody was trying to survive. You know, it was desperate times. Shortages of food, shortages of everything. When I went to Wexford in my later life, everything was plentiful. So it's not the sort of thing that you can compare, sort of thing. Although it was hard in Dublin, it was still a happy time, because we all had a good social life and plenty of friends, which is something we were never short of. Every house had 6 or 7 kids, so you were never short of friends. Wexford was a very happy experience for me. You know, we worked hard, Nan and I, and we got the place well. Very happy times. It was just Ireland is a very, very pleasant place to live, and that was very, very good. I really enjoyed it, and maybe one of the regrets you have is that we never stayed there. But then again, circumstances change, and you have to adapt.
Or sort of, do you have good memories of working?
I have very good memories of working. Like I said earlier, I had maybe 5 different jobs, and I succeeded at every one of them. The first one was a dental mechanic. The next one was in the paper mill, where I had a crew of 5 people working with me there. Well, then I went to work on Fords after that, but then I went and served my time as an engineer. Yeah, then I became a carpenter, you know, mastered them all.
So what did you think of some of the old pictures?
I thought the pictures were very good, very enlightening, some of them. Some of them I'd never seen before. I don't remember them. Very nice to see the kids the way they were, you know, because they all looked happy and healthy. We looked like a happy family, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was. Happy memories in Rush Green.
Oh, yeah. Happy memories everywhere, James. I never had any problem anywhere, you know, it was always...
And in Rainham as well.
Well, yeah.
Quite a-
It's not the best place in the world, but it was a place where we could get a house